I will freeze the city. Then I will hold Gotham ransom.
Hey everyone, welcome to Digital Charcuterie. My name is James. Thank you so much for stopping by. If you're looking forward to the Batman 2, Batman Part 2, Batman Part 2, Felicia, hit that subscribe button. We're going to talk about it all the time on this channel. I am excited for the Batman 2. I've done a bunch of videos in the past on the Batman Part 2, whatever you want to call it. Matt Reeves' Batman sequel, if it were. And we got a huge update. There's a huge update going around the internet webs right now. We'll get to that in just one second. But one reason why I'm really, really excited for the Batman Part 2 is, aside from the fact that I absolutely loved the first Batman movie from Matt Reeves, I look at the director, Matt Reeves himself, and I look at a movie that I don't want to compare it to the Batman, but I think what his biggest, boldest take, though, for me, and I think his biggest accomplishment, was what he did with Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. He took a pre-existing franchise and expanded on it and grew it in ways that I never anticipated. And I don't think I've ever left the theater as thrilled as I have been after that sequel. And that's what makes me very, very excited for this movie coming up, is the fact that he made already one of the greatest sequels ever made in Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, and now he's making another sequel, and it's a sequel to a movie that he made the first time. Dawn, he didn't direct the first Dawn, but he directed the first Batman. And I look at the way he, like I said, he expanded that universe, he fleshed out that universe. He did all of that with the second one. He made, I had issue. I loved Rise of the Planet of the Apes. But there was I had a little minor issues with it, especially towards the end. And what he did with Dawn is he kind of he washed those away. He's like, those aren't issues. Don't worry about them. And they just ventured on, and he told a really great story, but a very, very minimal story. And that's a movie that I would never hesitate to recommend to anybody across the board, whether you're a sci-fi lover, whether you're a drama lover, like any comedy. It's not that funny. But if you just like movies, there's nobody that I think that I would suspect not to like it. That's not to say everybody likes that movie. I'm sure, it's a movie. It's subjective. People won't like it. But I just feel like it's one of those films that you watch and you're like, there's a good shot that if I recommend Dawn of the Planet of the Apes to somebody, they're going to walk away enjoying that movie. And that's really one of my hopes with the Batman 2, is that he's going to be able to tap into that once again with a sequel, and he can do a sequel that dominates the first one. I know when they made the first Batman, they called up the Chris Nolan producers, and they're like, just so you know, we're one-upping the Dark Knight. And now whether or not you think they did, that's up to you to decide. I think ultimately, I think the Batman is a better Batman movie than the Dark Knight, but I think the Dark Knight is a better movie than the Batman. If you want to split hairs there, I don't really care. I like them both, but that's how I feel. So I'm just curious if, like, the second one, if they don't worry so much about trying to one up the Dark Knight, if they just focus on what they're focusing on, that there's this possibility of greatness coming from this director, Matt Reeves, who's proven that he can do it in the past, like out of nowhere with Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. Like that movie, as good as Rise was, Dawn had no business being as good as it was. And the fact that the way that they were able to, because it's so far removed from Rise, but then the way they brought it back in, they tied it together, was kind of brilliant in so many ways. It's just like, I can't wait to see what Reeves and co do with this one. We've heard reports that the villain's going to blow you away. It's going to be unexpected, this and that. And I can't wait to see what they're going to bring to us. I've done videos on, who the Batman villain might be, who I would like it to be, things like that. And I'll do more of those in the future. Until we learn, we're going to have fun speculating. And to be honest, I almost hope, unless I have a really crazy character, like off the cuff character, I hope that it's nobody that I speculate on to see in this movie. I would like to be surprised, genuinely surprised, as much as, Freeze would be cool. And I do think it's Freeze because of the way the Penguin show was kind of operating. I kind of suspected Freeze. I also really want Mad Hatter. There are characters that I really, really want. I'd like to see what he does. But I mean, there's so many great Batman villains that we can, you can explore other characters that haven't been utilized as much as characters like Mr. Freeze and Two-Face and all of them. And I'm really curious to see what they did. I mean, Two-Face, when Tommy Lee Jones did Two-Face, he was kind of a character that kind of vanished from the spotlight for many years until the animated series, and then Tommy Lee Jones, obviously. So I mean, if you can find a character like that that's kind of gone by the wayside for a bit, there's so many of them, there's so many of them. My hope is that it's Louis the Lilac. Louis the Lilac coming. All right, superherohype.com is putting up this post right here. Where are we? Superherohype.com has, that's still such a sick poster. The Batman 2 update reveals production start date for DC sequel movie. What is the update? This is from Brennan Schur. I hope I'm saying that right. What is the update on the Batman 2? According to productionlist.com, via comic book movie, The Batman 2, also known as The Batman Part 2 or The Batman Part 2, the first one, Roman numerals, will begin production at Warner Brothers Studios, Leavesden in London, United Kingdom, on January 1st, 2026. Pre-production is ramping up in London. The posting on productionlist.com reads, production leads are organizing departments and hiring for production design, art direction, stunt coordination, costume, makeup, grip lighting, camera, VFX, and post-production planning. Leavesden offers access to high-end sound stages and set-building facilities, ideal for Gotham's gritty transformation and sweeping practical environments. The sequel explores Gotham's slow recovery from the devastating flood caused by the Riddler in the previous film, tackling themes of societal division, power dynamics, and moral ambiguity. Reeves has described Batman's new journey as operating in a more complex and grayer world, raising the stakes for character-driven tension and visual storytelling. Pattinson will reprise his role as Batman in the movie, while the website lists the returning cast as Farrell, Andy Serkis as Alfred, and Jeffrey Wright as Commissioner Gordon. It also says Barry Keoghan is expected to return as the Joker, though this has not been confirmed by Warner Brothers as of yet. The Batman 2 arrives on October 1st, 2027. Still a lifetime away, but this is big news. This is great news. We're starting January. We're going to start in the beginning of January, early January. They're going to start production on this thing. They're in pre-production right now. The pre-planning. So the script has come in. James Gunn said there's still some things they have to work out with this script, but clearly those things that they're working out are minor things that they will obviously have fleshed out and hammered out by the time they get cameras rolling. And if they don't, a lot of times with these big budget movies, they fix these things while the cameras are rolling. So they have a basis enough where they can go into production and start making this movie a reality after all of this time. And honestly, how could you not, after how good obviously the Batman was, but then how great the Penguin series was. The Penguin series is the one thing that makes you say you've got to pick it up and you've got to bring this movie to us, because we need more of that. And hopefully, you know what? I don't know if I want a Penguin season 2. I've done videos on that as well. I love the Penguin. If they come up with a great story for the Penguin to move forward in that, I'd be all up for that. But I would love another series about any character told in that style with that much love and affection and attention given to it, and maturity as well. That is my hope for that. And I'm like I said, I'm really hoping for the Batman Part 2, January in the UK. It just clock's ticking. We're getting there. 2027 though is the release date. Unbelievable. I'll be 90 by then, but I'm still going to go grab my popcorn and watch that movie in the theater. And until then, I'm going to be talking about this as much as I can on this channel. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Are you excited for it? Are you a little less optimistic about it? And did the Penguin change your opinion of the Batman Part 2? Let me know in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Give us a like and a subscribe. And until next time, may be the master of your own universe.